Hey, what's going on, everyone? Let's start off with the dollar. As you can see, the 8.13 are coming down across the 34. You can see the resistance of the 8 and then the resistance of the 8 broken as it cruises on through to across the 13, breaking into previous lows. And it got stopped out, coming back into support. Seeing right now if the 13 will hold, as we're working off this AB bottom and a nice hammer, and then a push across, making this maybe a left shoulder, maybe a head, and maybe a right shoulder coming in here. Reverse head and shoulders bottom for the dollar. But so far, closing above 8 and 13 all at once. Its natural course of return is the 34, so see if it'll pump into that. But right now, as we sit for today, it got rejected and came back into support. So it looks like a bottom is forming. Let's see if we can get a left head and right shoulder and then bust across the 34. But all in all, up today. See how we're doing for the week. Look at double back. It's closing about 50% of this candle, so that's good. Momentum's back. Needs to close above previous highs. And we got resistance all the way up. And this could also turn on a dime and hit the 34 on the downside, since now we're in between the 13 and the 34. So we'll see what happens, but right now we have an outside day for the week forming. 2-bar pattern, reversal. And again on the daily, we got this nice little hammer. Aside from the little tiny little wick, pretty nice formation. Single bar reversal, pumped, back in, pumped, back in. See this always, pump back in, pump back in. So we'll see how the week ends up, but right now we got support on the dollar. SPX, the S&P. So far nothing off that flat top break. So keep waiting, I guess. We are putting in a lower high. We got the 1-2 punch forming here, but it got rejected. Yeah, the 1-2 punch, and it got rejected. So now we're working with a double top. Closing the day out. Let's see for the week. Just need a confirmation on the upside break. But right now we got a lower high forming so far. Just a slight lower high. But nonetheless, it could be the start of the churn. Dow Jones. Let's see. Looks like it busted out that downside trend line and broke previous highs and came back in. So far we are closing below previous highs, so we've still got work to do. Just a little pop. Closed down here and then it opened up here. Really not sure what's going on there. Is it going to fill the gap? Popped up, closed down. Let's see what happens here. It's a 4-hour chart. Looks like a little rejection. But you got the left shoulder and the right shoulder forming now. And we'll see. Let's see if this turns into a big giant whipsaw on the 4-hour chart. Looks like on the 60 minutes it busted out, gapped, open, closed back in, and then bearish retrace back into resistance. So look for previous low breaks on the intraday chart. And I guess this doesn't make sense now. I'm going to put that up here. It's got to break previous high breaks to keep going. So far, lots of volatility coming off of that pattern. But rejected now. Could be the throwback. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. See how it opens. See if we can close above previous highs. Is that the throwback or is that a whipsaw? We'll have to confirm it. NDX. Nice pop as well. Little rejection. No reference point, so far on Nasdaq it's closing above previous highs, so we have support. Use the previous highs as your support once it breaks. So previous highs have to hold, but it looks like you got support. Nicely done. Little crude here. Still working that 3-bar pattern. Oh, I remember now. Last night was real late, so I was looking at this candle. So that's the candle from last night, I guess. Closing today on a 3-bar evening star pattern. Not a perfect evening star, but it has that same kind of formation. Look for previous low breaks, as that is a bearish top pattern. Coal, saved by the bell. Let's see. Looks like a bearish retracement on the weekly. Nice bounce off of support. I guess that point support was here, so it broke down and it held here now. So now we have a new opposing point. But prices broke down below the 34, and now we have a pop back into the 34, which is the bearish retracement, allowing the prices to keep coming down. So once that happens, you take the measured move. Let's see, just a guesstimation. Let's call it 2 1/4. So 1, 2 1/4. Right down in this area. Would be the measured move across this top. See what happens. But it definitely broke down below the 34, and now it bearish retraced. So far closing the week below the 34. So this wasn't saved by the bell, it was a new opposing point. Looks like a bearish retracement. And just on this, you can see the line of support, it broke through and came back into resistance. So we got a bearish retracement working. This will have to make, V-bottoms don't work. This will have to make an opposing point and try again, as it looks like it's going to be rejected at resistance. Anything can happen. This can just bust on through. But once things start to break down, momentum's lost, and that bounce, that last bounce into resistance, usually it drops off the map. So we'll see what happens. Dun, 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 dun. This one's still hanging on by a thread. Lots of bearish retracements on this one on a daily chart. As it came across, came in, bounced, came in, bearish retraced here, rejected, bounced, came into resistance, rejected one more time. We'll see how this opens. Looks like yesterday was 65 points down, 66 points down. Look for previous low breaks and something outside that trend line. Looks bearish from here, but then I think on this one we're looking at the weekly, and then all of a sudden it looks like it's holding support. So we'll see how the week ends up. Look for previous low breaks as it could just slide right past that 13, coming all the way back into support. Where it stops is next previous high would be 18,466. And then I got the support line at 18,205, and then all the way down to previous highs, 17,500. Right around there. So let's see what happens. Bitcoin's on a tear. Just a huge 1-2 right there. Bam. Nice U, bullish. Has not stopped. Took out that reversal bar and it did not look back. Bam. Actually, I made a mistake. Well, not a mistake, but I was... Where was it? Where was it? Oh, that pattern break. I was thinking this pattern break was bearish, to be careful. And that wasn't the case, because this thing is on a tear. So it came into a pinch. We had an upward pattern and a downward pattern. Came in. I was thinking this was a resistance line. It was going to come back in, blah, blah, blah. No. Just clean break right there. So now that we broke previous highs at 1044, let's say, now we got support. 1044. It's trying to break 1050. We got ultimate highs, I think at 1140 or something like that. What was it? We got ultimate high break at 1162. But I imagine that this is going to come into resistance, make a double top, and then make a tail. That's what I'm guessing. Gather its legs on a little accumulation tail, making a big giant cup and handle. And then once it breaks for the third time, I say definitely. But pretty nice. I'm thinking it's coming into resistance. It's going to get stopped out. It's going to consolidate into this little tail, and then we'll have a cup and handle breakout for a long-term chart. That's my guess. It could happen quicker than that because that's a monthly chart. I mean, this thing could just hit previous highs and keep going. No doubt about it. But usually when it hits previous highs, it gets knocked back and it has to gather its legs for another try. But this is Bitcoin we're talking about. There's some margin trading in China, but it's a free market. It's hard to believe that 1,050 Bitcoins per $1, I guess. Very strange indeed. But look for a break on this. I'm guessing into resistance and gather its legs in some kind of a cup and handle formation. So, see what happens. Shanghai still doing its thing. Long-term chart, that looks like a bearish flag. So look for anything down below. But things are getting a little tight in here, and it's got support. We got 2 lines of support and 1 resistance. It's likely to make a pop, but make a pop and then come back into support is a likely scenario. But that is a bearish flag formation. Same as that flag formation, but on a slightly different angle. Look for things to break down. That's a monthly chart, though. Things take forever on a monthly chart. But we got support on the daily. Nice whipsaw across the support line, back into support. Look for previous high breaks, as that flag formation could be just a high-level consolidation. Gold. Gold did a little retracement today. Nothing to worry about, I don't think. Pretty definite breakout. We are closing on a daily. Is today open? I don't think it is. Come on, give me a tick. Nothing. So look out for this hanging man, as it might come back into support. Previous high breaks. I guess this is open, but no. So yeah, we closed today on this little nasty little reversal bar. If it breaks previous highs, then that is negated, and it's just a consolidation, knocking out the bottom as a hammer. So look for previous high breaks. Otherwise, look for prices to come into support, as they always do, it seems like. For the week, pretty nice break, 1-2 punch across the 13. And the continuation, looks like we're getting resistance coming into the next previous lows. Hopefully we can hit the 34 by the end of the week. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Silver, same thing. Let's see how we close the day out. Just a spinning top. We didn't confirm this onto the upside either. Inverted hammer or falling star. Looks like a falling star hit support and bounce pretty definitively. I got previous high support. Actually, right there for this previous high right here. See if it'll keep going. Need to hit the other side of that wave on the weekly chart. Let's get up into this area. Ultimately above the 34 on a weekly chart. Ultimate. But 8 is slacking. It might take a while to get up there. Hopefully we can just smack that 34. Better yet, smack the 34 and move on through. And consolidate above the 34 would be awesome. That's the goal. Copper. Slacking. Looks like it's losing a little bit of momentum there. Looks like for the week we're below the 8. Looks like a bounce off of support. We're having a cross here, so that might be a bearish retracement. Prices in between support and resistance. Who knows where it's going to go, but for the longer term, it looks like it's lost momentum. It's moving below the 8. We want to close the 8 above the 8 at all costs on a weekly chart. Always close above the 8 on a weekly chart. Keeps us in the momentum drive. Looks like it's losing momentum. It's hoping really to get copper, silver, and gold to run all together. That would be awesome. This looks at 10-year treasury note. Looks like that bearish retracement's coming in and fulfilling as it came across. Bearish retraced into resistance, got rejected, and now we're at support for the week. And you can see the drop below support levels. And the cross below the 8 here, cross below the 8 crossing the 34 here, 13 crossing the 34 here. We had a little bit of momentum drive here, but then that just lost all sorts of gas. And nothing in terms of perfect reversal bars, but we had this reverse, and then we had that bearish retracement there. I would look out below. Previous low breaks, and then you're in no man's land down in this area. I got support levels at the gap at 220, so maybe the previous low breaks would carry us to 220 or so. Maybe it wants to fill that gap. All the way down to 2. That's pretty likely considering how steep that line is. Pretty steep indeed. GDX holding its own, I hope. Pretty nice clean break yesterday. Now we got a falling star looking thing. Aside from the small wick on the bottom half. Let's see. Looks like we had a little churn, just a little drop. Churn, holding support on the 13. Yeah, we got that little thing here going again. Looks like a hanging man kind of action. Let's negate all that by breaking previous highs. But right now we're in a range. So this long candle is our range. We busted out of that and came back in, and we haven't taken it out yet. So we're in this range between 2540 and 2480, 2489. So let's get out of that range. Moving sideways is okay. It lets the 8 come on up, as long as we don't close below the 8. Looks like we had to bounce off support on the hourly intraday, so that's good. Monthly, of course, is still bullish. So little retracements on the daily, no big deal. It was a small decline. It was 0.5% down today. GDXJ, same thing. Tried to run but got stopped out. Let's find out where that's. Looks like we broke into previous lows and got stopped out a little bit. So lots of resistance coming into the previous lows so we can get to that top range of things. Let's break previous highs here to get into previous lows here and ride this range all the way back up and break previous highs. Not too far off. You can easily get up there. That $10? Oh, no problem. Nugget. Same thing. Pretty definitive break, but now it's even getting Looks like we've got resistance coming into somewhere. Just trying to get into the next range. Just a lot of resistance there against this whole pattern. We broke in. It's tough to say where actual resistance is, but it obviously got stopped out. So I'm looking at the next previous lows from the price close, which is right there, right where it closed. So needs a little bit of help, a little nudge for the nugget. JNUG, same thing. Just trying to get into this next range of things. Almost there. Looks like we get knocked back just a little bit. Let's look at AG. Same thing. Goro broke out yesterday. Same thing. Got rejected. See if it gathers. See how fast it'll gather the legs. Try again. IGA, same thing. Little retracement, no problems. Typical. Same thing. BTG, same thing. SVBL, looks like that came down a little bit. I was hoping for that to break here. Move on up. Let's see. Nice stair step into support. Bounced off of support. Holding the 8 on the weekly. It's very important. Looks like it crossed. And now it's stair stepping into support. Support's got a hold. Look for previous high breaks. VGZ, I was looking at this today and it broke outside the channel. Not a perfect channel. Closing above the 34 so far. Let's take previous high breaks out and complete the channel break. Pretty nice. This ran up really hard, came all the way back into support. Instead of taking a couple legs down like everything else, this went sideways across the 34 and now it's coming back across. So you can see now the big giant U. So I suspect that this is going to have a little pop. I'm not sure if it's going to make it to new highs, but look for a pop into previous lows at least. We got previous lows into right around 130. But be pretty nice to see this outside that channel. See where it goes from here. Nice U. Let's take a look at uranium. Looks like a high level consolidation going sideways. It's holding support so far. It needs to close above previous highs though. It's a weekly. UEC, same thing. URRE, looking for consolidation to finish up on this thing. Look at that stair step, just magically right into support. See if the support will hold or it will go all the way back into support here where the previous high breaks were. Use the previous high breaks as your support. Looks like it's almost there. Could turn around on a dime at any moment. BNNLF, looks like it's still climbing. Looks like for the week we're suddenly have a reversal bar called a hanging man. So it looks like, let's look at the daily, yeah. Bunch of hanging man. Hanging man, hanging man. Still above support, but look out below as these things confirm on the downside. But because they're above support, that's the great conundrum about reversal bars. They have to confirm down or up. So a closing candle above these two hanging men would make them hammers. So in other words, this one right here is now confirmed as a hammer. Now we confirm this one. Let's keep confirming them on the way up. Let's close above previous highs, and you might see it keep going. But then now we have a weekly. If this closes like this for the week, then we'll have we'll need a weekly close to confirm it, down or up. But nonetheless, a reversal bar on daily and weekly are forming. Kind of gave up on UBQU. I'll need a previous high break to get interested. Lost my patience. It is coming back into support, but on these weekly charts, I don't want to wait 3 weeks, 4, 5, 6 weeks for it to come down into support. They started diluting it too, so I guess they're diluting it to pay the bills, which is normal, but looks like we're closing below lines of support, coming back into the ultimate support, hopefully not back down into previous high breaks. But once I started closing down in this area, that's a bearish flag right there. So I gave up on it. It looks healthy for a longer term chart. That monthly chart is the reason why I really like it, as we got a double bottom, higher low. So it came down into a bottom, came back across, came up and over. Now we're closing above the 8 on a monthly. But that sure is taking forever, so I lost my patience, and that's all it takes for me. A little hemp, cannabis. Let's go look at the weekly. This might be falling over too. It had that nice U here, pop, and then now it's losing its gas. It might need to gather its legs and then try again. But ultimately a nice pop here. But once those pops happen, as always, it takes forever for them to gather its legs back. And on a weekly chart, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks to decide whether up or down, and it looks like it's down. A little long to figure out. So whenever you see a pop, realize that it's going to take a while for it to pop again. So it took a pop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and then it popped again, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then now it's turning over. It's still at support. I'm not saying it can't pop again, but it looks like it's got that rounding top. Going back over. That's it, guys. Please, if you're interested, I got the Bitcoin channel up and running. I only have one video done so far, but probably going to do one today. I'm probably going to keep it on a weekly, monthly basis until I get some interest, and then I can start doing it continually. But so far so good, pretty fun. It's like trading penny stocks all over again in the 90s or something. It's pretty cool. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please share, like, and comment. Let me know what's going on out there, and donate if you can. Appreciate the coffee. Buy me a cup of coffee, and I really enjoy it. I drink a lot of it, so appreciate you guys. Thank you.